Check, check. Might help if I actually turn the mic on. Good evening, good evening. How is everyone? Silver Surfer, good evening to you on YouTube. Hello. Thank you for tuning in to our broadcast tonight, everybody. We do have, of course, some more snow coming up here overnight. And then, of course, once again, tomorrow evening, we have some more snow coming through, as well as a few snow flurries on Saturday, Sunday. And kind of like how we talked about last night, we have several little snow shots showing up here. So we'll talk about all of that with you here. Of course, let's give it a minute or so before we start diving into everything. Allow folks to get in here, get them settled in, and make sure you're sharing the broadcast out for us. Help us spread our information out. Help us grow. Share this broadcast on your news feed. If you're on Facebook, hit that share button. Thank you very much. We would appreciate that. Make sure you're saying hello as you come in. Once again, I'll give it about 45 seconds or a minute or so and allow folks to get in here and get kind of settled in. Phil, good evening to you, my friend. Heather, hello. Leslie, hello out of Somerset. Good evening to you, Janet. Dan, how are you doing, my friend? Again, we are, of course, live on Facebook and YouTube. I've been trying to set up the TikTok live as well, but I don't think that's working just yet. Let me check and see just to make sure I'm not putting my foot in my mouth. I hit go live on it. We'll see if it works. I doubt it. No, it's not working. Okay. I'm telling you guys, I'm about to give up on the whole TikTok thing because it's causing me more of a headache than I would have ever imagined. Also, I did make some changes to the microphone and stuff tonight, so make sure you let me know if it sounds okay for you guys, if it's too quiet, too loud, whatever it is, let me know. I think I'm finally done messing with it. It just wasn't where I wanted it to be the last few broadcasts, so I wanted to make sure I got that all set up correctly. I finally got the one piece I've been waiting for it to come in for a little bit, and it finally came in, which was a new kind of a mix amp, so hopefully it sounds okay, it looks okay. And again, we'll give it about 15 more seconds or so. Allow folks to get in here, get them settled in. The mic is a bit quiet. Someone is reporting on YouTube. You have not missed the weather update just yet. We have not really even started yet. Let me try turning it up a little bit. There, I turned it up a little bit. I don't want to turn it up too much. Let me know if that sounds a little bit better for you. Okay, no, again, anyone that's just now hopping in here, you have not missed any of the update yet. I have not started yet. I'm allowing folks to have a minute to get in here because I know sometimes it takes a minute for the notifications to come out. So I've just been kind of waiting here, saying hello to everybody. You have not missed any of the information. Sounds good? Okay, great. Good. That person said it sounds better for them. Okay, awesome. Yeah, you can't really know how exactly it sounds until you turn on the broadcast and then you have people let you know what it is that you're missing there. All right. Perfect. Thank you. Okay. Once again, for those of you that may just now be hopping in here, I'm George Herbig, Chief Forecaster here with Weather Now Kentucky. And yes, we have some more snow shots coming up here. No, I don't think it's anything major or crazy like that, but it will be impactful because the temperatures that we're looking at, guys, are going to be pretty frigid. I'll show you some of those. We're going to pretty much go through several swings of temperatures here over the next several days. But even with tomorrow, for example, tomorrow we'll start off in the 20s, then get all the way up to the 40s, and then drop back down into the 20s at some point. I mean, and that doesn't sound crazy, but when you're talking about snow shots for tomorrow, it's like, man, what these temperature differences are going to be. That's what's causing the headache here between not just us, but the model data as well, is it's trying to figure out what time when these rain or snowstorms move through, what time are they coming through? What are the temperatures looking like when they come through? And when the temperatures keep changing, it's making the data look a little bit crazy. So let's go ahead and go through here. That live camera that you're seeing on your feed, by the way, right now is from Moorhead, Kentucky. We'll take a look at a few of the different cams tonight, just kind of see around what we have going on out here. Right now, what I have on your screen ready to roll, I'm going to show you is the double RFSA model. Now, we will look at a few different models tonight. You guys know how this goes. But starting out first here is the double RFSA model. Now, this model is going to show us what we're expecting to see tonight, overnight, going into Friday. And of course, we have a few different snow shots within the next 24 hours. Well, I guess 48 hours, if you will. So if you look down in the bottom left corner of your screen, basically where my cursor is kind of circling around, you can see the time frame that the model is on and the day that it's on. If you have really good eyes, you can see that anyway. So if you want to keep up with timing and stuff, I'll try to call it out as well. But if I don't, and you want to see what time that a specific time we're talking about is, of course, you can actually look down in the bottom left corner of the screen and see that there. So let's go ahead and start pulling this forward here. Now, there is actually, I wanted to show you this before we got going in here. There is currently a winter weather advisory out for the areas in purple here, for places like Louisville, LaGrange, Campbellsburg, Shelbyville, Frankfort, Lexington, Paris, Kentucky, Cynthiana, Carlisle, Georgetown, so on and so forth. This winter weather advisory is not necessarily for the amount of snow that you're going to see. It's going to be rather like an inch or less of snowfall, but it is more so for the impact. Since the temperatures are going to be so cold, below 25 degrees, most surfaces are now either at freezing or somewhere near there. You're talking about a very slick surface, even though it's going to probably be less than an inch of snow. Some places may squeeze out a little bit more than an inch. But nonetheless, overall, 1 inch or less of snow is expected between 4 to 10 a.m. on Friday before the main show comes on Friday evening. And that's what this winter weather advisory is for. So that was causing a lot of confusion today. Was what is this for here? Well, this is for Friday from about 4 a.m. to 10 a.m. I believe is the time frame. Let me double check that. From 4 a.m. to 10 a.m. Yes. So that's what this is for. And again, it's going to be a very light snow, but it will impact travel. And yes, it may impact school decisions as well. I know it's a very light snow. It's like, what in the world? How can they cancel or delay school for that? I'm telling you guys, it's going to be really slick. Again, it's going to be really, really slick. Temperatures below 25 degrees, even a little bit of snow on that. It's going to be really slick. So that's why the winter weather advisory is out, not necessarily for the amount of snow, but more so for the impact. So that's from kind of wave number 1, if you will. So again, that winter weather advisory being in purple, and you can also see it scrolling at the bottom portion of your screen there. So let's go ahead and go through the model data now. Advance us forward. Here is that 4 to like 10 p.m. time frame here. You can see a little, it's just a little bit of snow, but it is kind of going to be a little bit moderate, if you will. So briefly heavy, but it will be just a little bit. And some of the data is trying to kind of fade it out. It does have it going into Western Kentucky and then kind of fading out. I don't think that's the case. I think we probably see a few snow flurries in places like Madison or what is this over here? I can't even remember what I put there. But Henderson, Owensboro, going over toward Irvington, Louisville, so on and so forth. Why does my map keep moving around? I think I'm hitting the wrong arrows here. There we go. Let's do that. But the winter weather advisory is for the Louisville to Frankfort, Lexington area. You can see this model doesn't really have it there. It actually has it more toward the north. You know, I think it's going to be a real hit and miss. I don't know if they have the winter weather advisory area 100% perfect. I think I would have put it a little bit more north as well. But now you're going into 2 different offices there. But once again, just kind of keep an eye out if you're in or around that winter weather advisory area tonight, especially for tomorrow morning. Just kind of go outside and look at the rolls before you head out. It's not going to be anything crazy. If it's white, you know it snowed. If it's not white, you know it didn't snow. I mean, it's not rocket science here, folks. So again, some of the model data is a little bit more north with it. Some of the model data is a little bit more south with it. Some model data doesn't have anything at all going for tomorrow morning. So just keep that in mind as well. Nonetheless, it'll be very light, but it will be impactful. Just kind of look at the rolls before you head out. All right. Here's kind of the main show, and here's where some of the models kind of differ. So you have the northern branch here. This is valid for Friday around 3 p.m. Eastern time. You have that northern branch of rain to snow up there, and then you have the southern branch of rain here. What is happening is some Gulf moisture is trying to be kicked up into Kentucky, while at the same time you have a cold boundary trying to dip south into Kentucky as well. And what's happening here is those two are kind of coming together, as you can see. The difference between tonight's data and yesterday's data had this kind of connection that you see here happening more to our west. That tells us that it has enough time to turn into a mainly snow event. Well, now that data is now trying to show this connection happening over the middle portions of Kentucky, which means now western and central portions of Kentucky should see mainly just rain out of this, whereas eastern Kentucky may see some snow out of this. The only way I could see central Kentucky, places like E-Town, Bardstown, Campbellsville, Litchfield, Irvington, getting out toward Ohio County, down toward the cave area down there. The only way I think you could see some snow out of this is something called dynamic cooling. So if you look off to your left here toward Madisonville, going out toward Owensboro, Henderson, once again, that area out there, you see some of these yellows and reds showing up. That is heavier rainfall trying to show up on this. Now, heavier rainfall in a situation like this can lead to dynamic cooling. Dynamic cooling is basically where a little pocket of air, kind of like if you think of it like this, a portal's kind of opened up to 7,000 feet up above our heads, and it's almost always below freezing up there. Well, the rain's coming down so hard, it's kind of opened up a portal and transported that cold air all the way down to the surface. So now, instead of a raindrop, you have a snowflake for that little bitty red-orange area. Okay, sometimes that can happen. You can actually see the model trying to pick up on this. So if you look up here into Indiana, where you have that blue streak, that's snowfall, in the middle of that green rain there, that's the dynamic cooling that the model is trying to pick up on. And you can see it tries to pick up on it here whenever it gets across Owensboro out toward Irvington, getting across Madisonville out toward, once again, Owensboro out there. And it keeps trying to pick up on dynamic cooling. That's really the only way I think some of you can see some snowfall Friday night at this current time. Of course, that can change. I don't think it will, because temperatures are just going to be too warm. For a lot of this, in the afternoon on Friday, I just got done finishing the forecast for Friday. In the afternoon, we're probably actually going to be in the mid-40s, maybe even upper 40s when a lot of this starts. Again, one of the bigger differences was last night. The models had this coming in a little bit later, more towards sunset and nighttime, and that led to cooler temperatures, which led to more snowfall. Tonight, the data has it starting around 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern time on Friday, which leads to a more rainy start. So again, this looks like it's probably once again going to be mainly Eastern Kentucky, the event. The numbers that you see on the screen there are the snowfall outputs that the model's trying to pick up on. Again, most of that's probably going to melt because, yes, you do see rain and snow, and yes, you will have warmer temperatures. By the way, in Eastern Kentucky, the temperatures will be significantly cooler than the rest of Kentucky tomorrow. So, again, that leads to more confidence in snowfall occurring, less on the rain side. I don't know why all these numbers aren't showing up for some reason. I'm only getting a few to populate. But once again, you kind of get the idea. So tomorrow, let's kind of transition to more of a rain event, maybe some snow mixed in. No real major accumulations expected because, again, you have temperatures jumping up to the 40s. Rain is mixing in to help melt any snowfall that may have briefly occurred. You can see, like, for example, in Campbellsville, where it's showing 0.9 inches. Well, you quickly switch back over to rain at some point. That's probably going to help to melt it, right? So, again, I think you're mainly looking at rain, some snow, and if that snow does occur, it's probably in eastern portions of Kentucky, like Danville, McKee, West Liberty, getting out to far eastern portions of the state there. So again, that to me is kind of what we're looking at for your Friday night. So again, just kind of some light snow shots here Saturday afternoon, where some snow flurries are trying to show up. Nothing too crazily impactful. Again, as you can see on the kind of the far side of your screen here, the main shows out to our east. Look how close it was. Look how close it was. I mean, that is some pretty hefty snowfalls that are going on for hours out here. Look how close it was. Look at that. So for those of you snow lovers, I know you kind of want to close your eyes right now, but that's how close it was. You're talking about, I don't even know how much it is, probably 4 to 8 inches of snowfall happening out there, just miles to Kentucky's east. So again, very, very, very close call there. And then, of course, on Sunday, you may see a few more snow flurries come through, kind of hit miss there. To me, in Kentucky, and I know we've wanted to talk mainly about Friday, and I'll get back to Friday in a minute, but to me, in Kentucky, the bigger snow chances come probably next week. And even those are really, really hit and miss right now. I'm going to turn off these numbers from the GFS model because right now it's probably going to be inaccurate. But I just kind of want to show you the overall theme here. So the bigger snow chances to me are probably next week. So let's go ahead and kind of skip forward to that. Here is Monday, and you can see how close that is once again. So this is kind of another rain to snow system, but on the northern edge of this would be mainly a snow. And sometimes the model has this coming through Kentucky. Sometimes it has it north of Kentucky. Sometimes, like on this run, it has it south of Kentucky. This is valid, by the way, for January 27th. But again, it's really, 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 really close. And then we have another shot. I don't think it's going to show up here. No, we have another shot toward the end of January, like the 30th, kind of that area. And then here's the 24th. I want to back this up a little bit. Right now, the model has this as rain. But if we can get things kind of line up a little bit better, I wouldn't be surprised to see this as another rain to snow event. So again, our better chances are for me going to be between the 24th and 26th, and then again between the 27th and 29th of January. That's where the better boom or bust chances are, where we can get a lot of snow or we can get up with a lot of miserable cold rain. That's kind of what we're looking at for those scenarios. Before that, like we said, let me go ahead and go back to the rapid refresh or the double RFSA model here and kind of show you once again. Before that, here is our chances. Once again, if you just missed it, I didn't mean to turn on temperatures. Turn on snowfall totals. Here is once again the next kind of 36 hours ish or so. Pull back out to the 18Z run here and kind of show you. So this is valid for tonight, going into the overnight hours between 4 to 10 a.m. You can see that's the reason winter weather advisory is up. This model has it a little bit more toward the north. The winter weather advisory is from basically Louisville to Lexington and that kind of that area right there for tonight and to the overnight hours, 4 to 10 a.m. Eastern time on Friday morning. Again, the model has it a little bit more north. We'll see kind of how that pans out. And then here comes Friday afternoon, where again we start as mainly a rain. As you can see here, this is valid for Friday around 3 to 6 p.m. Eastern time. Some snow trying to mix in with that rain. Wouldn't bet on that too much. And then on this back side, some rain to snow possible as well, with mainly Eastern Kentucky seeing any real measurable snowfall to this. As you can see, 1 to 2 inches being put out by the model. Remember, at 30 to 40% of this is likely going to melt, so more closer to a dusting to 1 inch for many folks. Basically along and east of I-75, out here toward, I think I might have the graphics still available. Let me see here. Yes, here it is right here. Car alarm is going off. Here's the forecast we made earlier. Best chances for any measurable snowfall tomorrow night being in that red area. So places like in Hazard, Pikeville, Barberville, Moorhead, Cynthiana, Maysville, Ashland. And once again, it's mainly a 1/4 to 1 inch of snowfall. Nothing major out there. Yellow area has a chance to see some snow mixing in. If you do see anything, it will likely be a brief dusting. And again, this is for Friday night. I want to make that very clear because I'm still seeing a lot of timing questions. Some flakes and mostly rain out here in Western Kentucky. This is going to be mainly just a plain cold rain. Whose car alarm is going off like that? Someone's car alarm is. Let me make sure it's not mine. I don't think so. I don't know whose car alarm that was. But anyway, that's kind of the forecast. By the way, we already have that posted on the pages, so I'm not going to spend too much time on that. And then by Saturday morning, most of that mess is kind of cleared out. Maybe some leftover snowflakes for far northern Kentucky at that point. And then Saturday evening, maybe some flurries kind of moving through the central portions of the state. And then once again on Sunday, maybe some more, just some flurries kind of flying out around there, as you can see there on the model. So nothing too crazy, just several brief kind of snow flurry, light snow events over the next 72 hours in the state. Nothing too crazy in my opinion. Okay. What I want to show you now is some of the temperatures that are coming through here, because I think it's going to catch a lot of folks off guard. Here is the wind chills that we're expecting to see over the next 72 hours as well. I'm going to back this up a little bit. So again, here is tonight. Obviously, you know it's chilly out there. If you've been outside, it's pretty darn cold. Friday morning when you go out to school, work, whatever it may be, here are the wind chills as you head out the door there. Low to mid 20s, some teens showing up for wind chills tomorrow morning. Once again, pretty brutally cold. And then we have that warm and moist shot from the Gulf kind of moving in tomorrow afternoon. That raises the wind chills and temperatures up into the low to mid 40s for your Friday afternoon, which is why we are switching to rain and not staying an all snow event. And then by Friday evening, going into Saturday morning, of course, we cool back down to below freezing. And then on Saturday, wind chills kind of hang out in the low to mid 30s for most of the day. And then by Sunday morning, you can see we really get cold. This model is trying to show wind chills in the low teens, maybe upper single digits. Some models have us colder than this for Sunday morning. But nonetheless, just know it's going to be pretty cold Sunday morning. So just keep that in mind for you folks maybe going out for church or anything else on Sunday. Pretty cold start to your day and pretty much cold overall. All day Saturday. Really don't warm up here. Your highs for wind chills on Saturday in the teens still. And then for Monday morning, we kind of look like this, going back down into the teens once again. So really cold snap coming up ahead. I keep telling you guys this cold air is coming. This cold air is coming. Do not get used to the 60s and 70s. and here it is. So that kind of said, I will show you real quickly the rainfall totals as well. Actually, I don't have that set up here, so we'll kind of come back to that at a different point. It's nothing too crazy either. For those of you that may have missed it, it's been scrolling on the bottom portion of your screen, but here is the winter weather advisory for 4 to 10 a.m. on Friday Eastern time in that purple area. That is for that first little snow wave that we showed you from 4 to 10 a.m. Again, it's probably going to be less than 1 inch of snowfall. The winter weather advisory is not necessarily for the amount of snowfall that an area may see, but it's more so for the impact. Since we're going to be in the mid to low 20s Friday morning, a lot of that snowfall is going to be very slick, even though it's going to be pretty light. I want to say a quick thank you to our sponsors, and then we'll get to some of your questions here. Thank you to Hyper Roofing out of Hardin County. If you're in or around Hardin County, make sure you use Hyper Roofing and get your roof checked out before the severe weather season hits later on this spring. That's who we use here at our home, so I hope you guys consider using them as well. They have a lot of great warranties. Creature Comfort Inn, make sure you get 10% off your pet's first stay at Creature Comfort Inn by mentioning Weather Now Kentucky. You can save 10% on your pet's first stay at Creature Comfort Inn. Right Implement has over 15 locations across Kentuckiana. Make sure you go check them out for any farm equipment, home equipment, or anything outdoor apparel as well. They have a lot of vehicles there as well for outdoor activities. Make sure you go check them out. They're phenomenal people. Plato's Closet in E-Town, Kentucky. That's where Brian and I shop a lot. A great family-owned business where you can sell your clothes back and get some money, and you can buy some gently newer used clothes there as well. And like I said, Brian and I love that spot. Once Upon a Child in Outer Loop, or on Outer Loop in Louisville, and in E-Town are both owned by the same family as well. Again, really great folks there. Once again, you can sell your children's clothes back and get some toys or gently new and used clothes for them as well. Again, that's where Samuel and Maylin, our kiddos, that's where most of their closets come from. Really great folks that own those places there. And just really great stores overall if you want to save some money and still get mostly new clothes. Really cool stuff there. I love those stores there. Let me get to a few of your questions now. I'm just seeing a lot of people asking about specific locations. Again, I think most 90% of Kentucky is going to see mainly a rain tomorrow. Far eastern Kentucky for tomorrow evening is really the only shot to me to see any real measurable snowfall. And again, even with that brief snow shot Friday morning, so before the main event, I still think it's relatively very light, a dusting to 1 inch for most places in that winter weather advisory there that you see in purple. And again, it's really light, mainly going to be for travel impacts. I could see some school delays, could see some school closures happening. Again, it's not a hefty amount of snowfall, but it is an impactful light snowfall. Luis, I do not see any freezing rain over the next day or two. Again, our temperatures are going to be mainly above freezing. Okay, I think that's a great broadcast there. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. We have posts scheduled to go out for you guys. If you didn't miss anything on this broadcast here, we have all the information being ready to be posted. Again, I want to thank you guys for hanging out with us and trusting us with your forecast. It's going to be kind of a roller coaster over the next couple of weeks here. I've been talking about it a lot with you. Cold air is starting to come into play now. We see several shots of moisture coming into play now. If you're a snow lover, now it's all up to just timing. Really, it just comes down to timing over the next few weeks when it comes to these events. That's really all it is. We've gotten close in Kentucky over the last week or so. We've gotten really close to a couple of some decent snow events throughout the state, and we've just missed out on them. We've just missed out because the timing has just not matched up yet. But all it takes is one. All it takes is one. So that's really where we're at right now. I'm George Herbeck, Chief Forecaster here with Weather Now Kentucky. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Hope you guys stay warm out there. It's about to get really cold.